inform you, I have invited two more here because I believe we need their points of view. So just to let you know who is on the stage. We have Predrag, who is the CEO of Domain.me. You already heard our partners from Intel, Farah. We have Muhammad, we have Jonathan from Softlayer. We have Martin, who is CEO of one amazing startup, which I'm sure he's going to tell more about it later on, Monto. And we have, sorry mate, Tomasz from MCI, who is one of the biggest, actually he represents one of the biggest, actually the second biggest, I think, VC in our part of the world, right, in Central Eastern Europe.
I hope so, yes.
Yeah.
No, I think we are the biggest.
You are the biggest. What was your total portfolio? Was 2 billion euro? Yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah.
3 billion euro of portfolio revenue in e-commerce space in Central Eastern Europe, including Turkey, Russia, Central Eastern Europe, Germany. Yeah.
So, okay, we have corporate players, we have investors, we have amazing startups and CEOs of great companies. So, trust me, it's going to be challenging. Why I invited Softlayer and why I invited Domain.me? Because I think that we need also the corporate point of view. Of course, we have Intel. So, let's start. Jonathan, let's discuss. Softlayer has been just recently acquired by IBM. But even before this, you've grew an amazing platform for really helping businesses scale. So let's start from this. What is the platform that you really built in order to help local companies grow global?
Yeah, basically we have a cloud hosting platform that's a global platform. So we have data centers in Europe, Asia, and the US, Northern America. And basically what we did is we standardized the technology so that you can easily deploy a global platform. So companies that need to go global but don't want to manage infrastructure in different markets, we made that easy for them. And then for ourselves, I was at a company before we were focused on one market. We were acquired, and then our new global parent said, we need you to go global. But we hadn't developed a code base that was global, so it was very painful for us to go global. So what Softlayer has done is we built our direct business through an API. So we have an API model, so I recommend that to everyone else. So then when you need to add specific features for each market, that's easier because your core business is built on top of an API.
And to follow up the question, maybe I would like to go deep in this. What are the marketing tools that you provide your users and, of course, your customers to do this, global expansion?
We're an infrastructure company, so we partner with companies that do this, but I've seen some really good technology because even if you're focused on one market, there are several different profiles, and now there's technology where they can match a profile against what that customer wants and the right message to do that, and do that in a matter of milliseconds. So if you're thinking about doing that globally, it's very important. We have a partner company called Qubit, and they did something what's called the open cookie, where you can actually get this cookie data. And the key important thing there is you own the data. So it doesn't go to another large firm who owns the data and then they sell it back to you. It's the W3C platform, which is an open data platform for internet traffic. And using someone like a Qubit Digital, you can actually own that data. And it's open cookie, so at a certain level, it's even free. So if you're getting started, you can really track and have a conversation with your customers in different regions. And it's a real-time digital conversation. And those tools are actually free now.
Great, that's good to know. Thank you for sharing this.
Sure.
Tomasz, I've seen you were listening very carefully all the panel. I'm kidding you. Come on. I think you're all tired, right?
This presentation was excellent.
Yeah, it was. I agree, absolutely. Not only this one. You were very strong here in Central Eastern Europe, but you're looking obviously for mature companies, big companies. What are the specifics that could make a Central Eastern European entrepreneur a successful global entrepreneur? What can we use from the reality we're growing into, we're living into, in order to grow international global startup and business?
Mm-hmm. No, the point is that we don't see too much successful East European entrepreneurs getting successful on the global scale. Yeah? That's kind of weakness of our business, because we love to invest in the global champions instead of doing the regional or local champions. But that's not a business model for the venture capital private equity in the region. That there was, I think there was up to now there was about 10 companies which you can define as a global champions. I think my definition is that this is €1 billion capitalization. It's probably ability to go IPO on Nasdaq, etc. And and you're becoming like the top 3 market leader in your vertical space where you are active on that. It was LogMeIn in Budapest, it was AVG in Czech Republic, it was Skype from Estonia. we discussed before, is Skype Estonian, Swedish, British or Luxembourg, but let's assume that's an Estonian company. And there is maybe Yandex from Russia, but basically Yandex is more like a national champion, not really like as a global champion. Parallels in Russia. I'm not sure if there's any global champion from Turkey. Maybe there is, but I don't know about it. But there's like maximum 10 examples of companies you can define as a global champions. And I think the key problem is that really to build the global champions, you need to see the entrepreneurs which did it before, because then this type of entrepreneurs they encourage the next entrepreneurs to follow, they are like an example, and probably that will take more time to build a critical mass of the people which will be able to do this type of things. And the second observation is that in most of these cases you see basically the CEOs which are running these businesses which are expats. That there was some technology which had the kind of quality of let's say competitiveness of really becoming a global play, but there was no skill set of the leadership to run it as a global company. That in most of the cases the current CEOs of these businesses are the Americans, Germans, British people which were relocated to run these businesses in Eastern Europe. But our business model is not based on building global champions. Our business model is based on supporting the national champions and regional champions.
By the way, I just wanted to present MCI just a little bit, give a few words, because that's how audience can get a better understanding of your approach. I think it's also important.
That we are multi-stage. That we operate 3 early-stage funds with the Polish government to support the startups. But that's basically in Poland. That we are happy to take the teams from Bulgaria, Serbia, Estonia, but we need to relocate part of the teams to Poland because it's also the government money involved in these early-stage funds to fund them and then hopefully build the global champions, European champions or national champions. Our major business is growth capital and expansion buyout capital. That we are like a small KKR. KKR is a famous leveraged buyout fund, but we are very much focused on the digital space, doing a digital space leveraged buyouts. Our first transaction here in Turkey was Index. We invested $20 million into the buyout of the $1 billion public listed company here on the Istanbul Stock Exchange, which is a very strong partner of Intel here in Turkey, and also HP and all the big brands. And we have very successful growth stage fund, which is doing between 5 to 20 million investments, usually into the leading e-commerce space. Like we've been in Eastern European Amazon.com called Net Retail Holding. We are still with the Expedia of Eastern Europe, company called Invia, which is present in Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland, Russia. It's a 200 million euro play. We are with ABC Data, which is a single-digit Amazon of Europe, growing 30% a year with 1.5 billion euro of revenue. We are at Jiva, which is a top 10 online game on Facebook. We are on with eBroker, which is a money supermarket of Poland. We are with Answer.com, which is ASOS of Poland. That's another 20 investments which we have in the portfolio.
Some good portfolio.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And we are on the market 15 years. We started in 98. We've been the first tech fund in Eastern Europe. We went public in the year 2000. And we have close to €250 million of our own assets, and the portfolio is circa about €3 billion in terms of
but
business.
with a great player like you, why there is nothing really great coming from Poland. Why don't we have this champion guy? Only the Klarna founder that we talk about. He's Polish but living in Sweden.
I'm writing for Forbes in Poland, and I make kind of article that we have the first Polish entrepreneur who built $1 billion company, tech company, but he immigrated to Sweden when he was 4 years old, and that allows him to build the first global champion as a Polish entrepreneur. He still speaks Polish, and I hope he still has a Polish passport, and I'm not sure about it. But no, but I think there is no environment to build a global champions. Like you really need to see. You can build global champions where you see another examples next to you, and there are no examples like that in Poland. That it will take. I think right now probably the highest probability of global champions you will be seeing in Prague and Estonia and maybe Budapest. Yes, and the second important factor is that you need. Because entrepreneurs also are looking, they are pragmatic, they are looking for risk return. Yeah? And if they can make enough money on building a local champion, which is much lower risk, much less effort in reality, that they prefer to do that. And this is still a lot of money to be made on local champions, regional champions in Eastern Europe, that you don't need to build the global champions, yes? You need to build global champions in the countries where there is no alternative, yes? Which is Israel, very small countries of Baltic states, usually between 1 to 3 million people. I think Bulgaria have a good chance because there's not so much alternatives. Building the national champion in Bulgaria it doesn't make sense, yes? I was in Ukraine 4 weeks ago and I saw a lot of interesting global champions opportunities because in Ukraine the domestic market is very bad, yeah? Yeah? That if you have a rich domestic market, if you have enough opportunity to build a wealth, just doing a national champion or regional champion, people are usually taking an easier part of the job, yeah?
Oh, the ecosystem in Bulgaria is growing, by the way, very rapidly because of these couple of seed camps that were there. So I'm Bulgarian. I can't share about this, right?
I'm sure. I've done investment in Bulgaria. It was a difficult experience.
We're doing. But anyway, since we mentioned Sweden, how many of you know what Martin is doing with Memento? How many of you know it? Right, good. Come on, Dan, you know everything, don't you? So, Martin, just share a few words and about, since obviously the audience needs to know more, and please prove the case because we invited you here. You're obviously important, so please share about it.
Yeah, so personal analytics is projected to be a $5 billion market in 5 years. And the driver in personal analytics is wearable technology with companies like Fitbit, Nike, Jawbone and so on moving there. And Memoto is the only company that is combining personal analytics with the biggest driver in social media, which is photos. So our wearable technology device is actually a wearable camera that captures 1 gigabyte of data of your life every day that you choose to use it. So it's an automatic camera that captures 2 photos a minute, and so you get photos of everything you do while you wear it. And then we analyze and organize the photos for you, so you don't have to do that by hand. And we're just now starting to ship. We have a few thousand pre-orders and launching in the market in January 2014, and moving to San Francisco soon after that.
When I first found about you, I was really impressed with. I mean, it's a very interesting concept. It's something that you. It's part of your lifestyle once you start doing it. I haven't been addicted, by the way, yet, so I'll try your product and I'll tell you what I think. Well, when are you shipping? When are you starting?
So we're starting to ship the pre-orders last week, actually, and
congrats! So it's already live.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah, and then
right.
that will
Let's give a huge applause to this, guys. That's a good one. So, good one. Bravo, bravo. So you have announcement at Webit. Thanks. Okay, listen. I'm really interested. What makes Sweden so special? How that so many Swedish companies go global much faster than any other European company in most of the cases, or let's say, on average. So what's so special about Sweden?
Yeah.
I know one thing, by the way. I've been in Iceland a couple of months ago, and I've met there guys from Sweden, from Finland, and stuff like this. And the Swedish guys told me, Finnish are not very nice. I said, why? Because they're not happy for the success of the other people. oh, it was funny enough, you know, because I'm thinking about the people in okay, let's say in Central Eastern Europe. How many people in Central Eastern Europe are happy of the success of the other people? So are Swedish people happy because of the success of the other Swedish people? Is this something national? Is it part of the lifestyle, of the mentality there?
Yeah, we have something called the Jante law, which says that we are happy about other people's success as long as they don't brag about it.
Okay, fair enough.
And there's a saying that success has many mothers, but failure is an orphan. And we talked about that before with Thomas here, that from a Scandinavian or Swedish point of view, Swedish, like the global champions are Spotify, Skype, Klarna, SoundCloud.
Oh, so you count Klarna as a Swedish one, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just, you know, yeah.
And the success of any company basically relies on timing into the market. There's never any coincidence when you launch a company. It's because there's some change in technology or society that makes you suddenly a viable business model or viable technology. And what happens when you launch into a great market, like a big market like perhaps Turkey or France or UK, is that you can grow to $1 billion business, billion euro business inside that market. So it's not until you stagnate your growth that you're looking at other markets. And if you come from a really small country like Sweden with only 10 million people, you know from the start that we need to go global, we need to go internationally in order to become something that matters. So it's impossible for a Swedish startup to not have an international concept in their business model from day one. That's how you grow your business, by going international. So that's why so many entrepreneurs from Sweden end up being forerunners, because they capture the timing of their company in many markets at once, instead of and there are great European companies and Eastern European companies, but many are limited at the $1 billion or euro level, not becoming maybe 5 or 10 billion euro companies, because they started going internationally too late, when the timing was out in the other markets.
Right, you also missed companies like RAP and others there. I mean, it's really an amazing environment, Thomas. Yeah?
Well, I think I will add to that two things, but you have a lot of examples since like 2 centuries of Swedish going global, which is not the case for Eastern Europe. And second, you are the first adapter in Europe. Yeah? Like if you look at many business models in the e-commerce space, internet space, the Swedish market is the most advanced. Yes, that there are also 2 reasons why there's so much globalization and Europeanization coming from Sweden. Yeah.
Right. By the way, I think that you should tell these guys that you're photo shooting them now. Right?
Yeah, there are some cameras in the room. I hope that's okay.
Oh, cameras, you said? But anyway, whoever you're walking around, they should know that, you know. Okay, come on. I was just pitching him, and don't ruin it. No. I'm sure there will be a lot of questions from the room, and I want to go back to Middle East, Africa, this part of the world. Farukh, I told you, I've seen your presentation. It's really very inspirational. But based on what you've just said, can you summarize how these different types of entrepreneurs can easily, you know, adapt and go global? What are the characteristics that give them advantages based on our regional perspectives here?
Sure, yeah. I think, you know, the first and the most important one is really to create a unique business model that is not easy to replicate. If you want to scale globally, you have to make sure that, you know, you have something that's just, you know, created by you, and that... Yeah,
but it's easy to say, but hard to do, isn't it?
So, it's part of the innovation, yeah? And the innovation can be about, whether it's about your delivery channel, it's about how you manufacture a product, what the product is addressing. I mean, I won't say the typical, but, you know, within innovation there are like 4 categories that you can innovate. So within any of those categories, you have to make sure that you're innovating something. And that can be also about the content that you created. I mean, whatever your solutions content is about. So that's number 1. Then number 2, I mean, as just, you know, Martin was saying, I think especially for smaller countries, it's a, you know, must. But even if you're in a country like Turkey or a big market, you shouldn't just think about your own market. I mean, that's a trap. You may say that, okay, I have enough customers in my country, but that's a trap. You need to think from the start to scale globally. And then, of course, you need to build your network accordingly. Once you start globally scaling, you have to make sure that you know people around the world. And then you can work with partners, other corporations, you can work with NGOs, whatever your business model is related to. Go and meet with those people and leverage on their network.
Thanks. It's, I would like to this, Predrag, you're for the first time on the stage for these 2 days at Webit. And for those who didn't understand, I have a full respect for what Domain.me is doing for the entrepreneurial community in this part of the world. How many are aware, by the way, in this audience of Domain.me and their truly committed approach toward the ecosystem, to the entrepreneurial ecosystem? Do you know about what they're doing? How many of you? Please raise your hands. All right. Well, it's good you're here. Let me know about it. Let me tell you about it. It's Predrag and his team are pushing the boundaries of collaboration, meeting the ecosystem, especially Central Eastern European, but also in Western Europe. They've created an amazing, their own event which they do in the beautiful Montenegro. So, I mean, all these things are really amazing. All things comes from a small piece of earth called Montenegro. And that's where the beautiful .me comes from. It was a nice place to be and to have this domain. But how is a corporation like Domain.me helping this environment grow bigger and bigger?
So first of all, thank you for inviting me on this stage and giving me the opportunity to speak
No, I thank you for joining.
Yeah. So let me tell you first a little bit about the business we do. There is more than 200 million domain names registered currently in the world, and we are approaching to the number of 750,000 domain names in the system. Most of those companies like VeriSign and Newstar, the companies that runs .com, .net, .org, .info, affiliates, are American companies. And we came up back in 2008 with completely new way of thinking how the domain name space can be, can exist in the future. So we tried and we believed that we can make that change, because we do believe that domain name is not just something.com, and if that domain you want is already registered, then you add some more words, and then it's something.com. So we do believe that there is a opportunity, and you can have your own domain, and you can have the marketing message in the domain, like follow me, and that can be at the same time the name of your company, and that this domain can be best personal domain name space, web space. So if you want to have your blog, your presentation online, you can have your name.me. So Montenegro is, so we are fighting with that kind of the registries, giant, all American. On the other side, the Montenegro is a really, really small country, 620,000 people. And we proved that we can fight with those big guys. And we are fighting globally, truly globally. We do only business to business. We don't deal with end customer. We have 170 partners around the globe. And we are having registrations from more than 200 countries, which means every single continent we are covering. And I'm very thankful for the opportunity I have to run this business and to work in this business, because I'm traveling a lot. So the question is, how we as a corporation can help the local community. Because, for example, in Montenegro, you can't pay with the PayPal. PayPal do not exist in Montenegro. PayPal was introduced in Serbia just a few months ago. So for us, it became very, very important to show to others, to young generation, that they should believe in their ideas and they should believe in their dreams. Especially if we live in the small country like Montenegro is, where people are again a challenge, because there is really, really limited resources from the perspective, from the human perspective, because that's not a big country like Turkey, where I have no idea how many millions, I'm sorry, lives in Turkey. But so we are really trying and we are really pushing that community building in the region, not just in Montenegro. So we are supporting this kind of the conferences, and we are supporting startups in general at the global scale. So we are one of the major sponsors of the TechCrunch. We do support conferences like Blog World in the US, and we do support different kind of European conferences. But we do have our own conference, which is SparkMe. And we want to give the opportunity to those kids from the region to go global. And we are trying, through our example, to show them that they can succeed. It's difficult because, and not that we can do that we are doing that through from that business level as a corporation, but few of us are engaged in the NGO, local NGO in Montenegro, so we are doing that small events with the people in the country. So we are really trying to push this a different way of the thinking and you know, the really idea that you can succeed locally or globally, depending on your idea and depending on how you know, phase your product.
Come on, man, stand up. Stand up. I know how sincere you are. I want to hug you, man. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. This guy, he really runs a great business. He's really a good CEO, and what you hear here comes from his heart. So, okay, before I start crying, let's go back to the talent pool. You do business in MENA, and obviously being successful means that you hire real talents. You bring giants in order to become a giant company. So what is the situation in MENA when we talk about talents, Muhammad? I mean, was there any time you just wanted to give it up? And how was it?
I think we need to differentiate. Talent obviously exists in MENA, but it doesn't exist specifically for e-commerce, because e-commerce is just too young in MENA to have a lot of people with 7 years of track record, right? So when we started looking for key people in key positions like digital marketing director, for example, and we worked with certain agencies to recruit, they drafted the job profile and they said the minimum requirement is 5 years of experience in a similar position. We didn't get anybody, right? And then we said 2 years experience in a similar position. We didn't get anybody. And then at the end of the day, what we said is, okay, let's look abroad, let's look at Germany, let's look at UK, let's look at the US. And then we found some people, and then you have to start convincing them to come to the Middle East. The only way, and let's be very frank, the only way to convince a non-Arab professional to come to the Middle East is called dólares, right? Either you pay a lot, or you don't. If you don't, they don't come, right? The problem is, however, you know, I find someone like you, I say, I want this guy. I ask him, what do you want? He says, $20,000 a month. I'm like, what do you make now in the US? He says, $5,000. I'm like, this doesn't work, right? But then you end up paying $20,000. You pay for moving this guy. He stays with you for about 6 months. And then some big player comes and says, you know what? I pay you $25,000. I have personally decided in any CEO position that I have been in the Middle East that I don't go into price wars, neither on the product side down nor on the personnel side up. So whenever we poach people, we pay less. But what we offer them, and I think this is the second part of the answer, what we offer them is a great experience and a great, like we personally, the leaders in the businesses I work, we personally commit that if you work with us, we will do anything to make you a better professional when you go out. And this counts for the local talent. So we get some people being aware that they might leave us within 6 months because they're not originally passionate about the region. But then we basically team them up with 3 or 4 local talents that we think in terms of personality, in terms of ethics, values, they are the right fit. And they're interested in the topic. And then we do whatever it takes to get these 6 months maximized in terms of an apprenticeship model. Nothing else has worked. I'm, again, like in the situation right now, I'm looking for online marketing people. I've been looking for online marketing in the last 3 years, since I came to the Middle East for e-commerce.
Pitch this guy, he's paying some good money.
Is there any online marketing person who wants to move to Dubai?
Well, you should go to the other stage, but I'm sure here
I'm in the wrong room, right?
Come on. Okay. Well, thanks for this. I'll cut short the questions because we're already 1 minute after the timing. Any questions from the room? That was quick. Okay. Can we have a microphone here? You were on the, you were just ready to shoot, huh? Okay. You knew that I'm going to say this, though. We created some good traditions here. That's good. So, what's your name?
My name is Adham. I come from Dubai, and my question is actually to Mohammed. He's one of our icons for e-commerce in the Middle East, and it's a pleasure to hear you talk about our challenges. So obviously, as you said, we have a very challenging mission in the Middle East because e-commerce is very young, but the growth potential is incredible. Now, one of the key barriers that we as e-commerce entrepreneurs in Dubai and the region face is that we cannot adopt the easiest way, let's say, or the shortest way to go live, which is, let's say, drop shipping your products, which is a very common thing in the US and in Europe because you have the suppliers over there. For us, it is physically, let's say, impossible, and then you have to stock, and then you have to invest in stock, and then you have to, have your whole supply chain mastered. And for small entrepreneurs, this becomes a very big barrier to entry for the market, and this slows e-commerce adoption in our region. So as someone who's worked in Sukar and decided, obviously you understand this better than we do, and I want to hear your advice on how we can tackle this problem.
Okay. Now, you remember my slide. This problem was the first one, right? Because it is the biggest problem indeed. There's 2 solutions to it, I think, in my personal perspective and personal experience. Either you get people that believe in your business model and give you significant funding to take inventory risk, which most of the successful businesses do, and then they need to know that you will be not profitable for a couple of years. It's as simple as that. Or you start becoming creative, right? One of the things that we have done is, especially in my Sukar time when I tried to optimize certain KPIs, is we tried to do local consignments. So you don't find products in Dubai, you don't find products where you are right now. What we've done is we've rented a warehouse in Istanbul and we started doing local consignment in Istanbul. We figured out a logistics way that makes us ship within 24 hours from Istanbul to any place in the Middle East. So the logistics companies in the region never guarantee 24 hours, but at least they say between 3 to 5 working days, and that was good enough for us. So we started local consignment in Turkey. Why? Because the competition on the supplier side is Turkey is much bigger, so you have much more opportunity to do that. The bad side of this is that the costs increase so much on the logistics side because you have to bear custom costs and shipping costs, air freight, etc., that it doesn't become a sustainable model. What does it mean for young entrepreneurs like yourself? I think unless you have really significant amounts to spend on stock and you buy stock from wholesalers, it will become very difficult to get the edge. You will be profitable on a small scale, but scaling to larger scale becomes very, very difficult.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay, should I push you? We have time for only one question. Who's next? Sasha.
Is Skype considered to be a Swedish company?
Yes.
Why it is not Estonian?
Of course, it's Estonian as well.
Come on, man. You need some microphone.
Yeah, sorry. So, of course, Skype is both Swedish and Estonian. They're founders from each country. So there is no conflict there. It's just different perspectives.
It's so chauvinistic here about Sweden, you know. I didn't know it's going to be like this on our stage. But yeah, I agree. That's why I've invited you. It's amazing what you're doing, and I thank you for sharing this. And I'm sure these guys, they want to talk to you. Some of them maybe want to move to Sweden there afterwards.
Come talk to me.
And I want all the pictures from... So, with this, I would like to say thank you all for being here. Thank you for amazing contribution to the content you did. I appreciate each and every minute of your time. Thank you very much. Thank you.